Hey guys, welcome to Active Self-Protection Extra. This is your Manus Dry Fire Mondays, and I'm Brian Hill with The Complete Combatant. Last week I worked on 4 aces. Suggest you watch that video too. That is a speed and efficiency drill, and what happens is people tend to choose the drills they like and practice those to excess, and in the areas of weakness they tend to avoid. So we always want to balance between speed and efficiency, accuracy and precision.
The new Mantis X10 firearms performance system has all the goodness of the original, plus holster draw analysis and recoil analysis. It's a fantastic upgrade and I recommend it highly.
Now they have very different goals in mind. If I'm in speed and efficiency, it's just that. I'm probably going to have a much larger target like alphas or down zeros in IDPA, and I'm trying to be as efficient as possible under the time limits. Now, when I do an accuracy and precision drill, I'm probably gonna have a much more demanding target, but I'll have a longer length of time. So that's why we can't practice them together. We can't do time and accuracy always on the same speed, same time for each other. So we have to work that together. We gotta work it separately. And then we go to performance mode and see where our current level of skill is. So the drill we're gonna do today is called the test. Ken Hackathorn's version of this with his scoring methodology is what we're going to use. All right, we need a B8 repair center. Okay, these are readily available online and they fit on a piece of paper, so you can simply find it online, download it and put it on there, and then just glue it to your target. It's a great shooting drill. Okay, the black area is about this big, and then the actual 10 rings about this big, and then the X rings even smaller. So it's a very demanding shooting drill. The drill is this: 10 rounds, 10 seconds at 10 yards, okay? Why 10 yards? It's a more difficult distance for most people to shoot well under pressure, and it means that your mechanics of grip and stance and recoil mitigation have to be top notch, and then you have to actually see the front sight rise and fall and press the trigger with the appropriate amount of force at the appropriate speed in the amount of time allotted to you. And so it's a good drill. It can be done from the low ready. If you have ever done this before, I'd suggest starting from the low ready. Just start here, slightly below the target and off, pick it up, and then start from that position. If you're a better shooter, you should go from the draw, okay? What is the test telling us? Well, everything you shoot, every drill you shoot is demanding something of us. So we need to look at it. Let's break it down real quick. So if I go from a low ready, I know from countless classes, making people go from low ready to the target, at their best speed, it's at least a 0.5 transition, but that's to a large target. So now we're going to a much smaller target at a greater distance. So let's say that the low ready becomes a 1 second drill. So I fire the first shot at 1 second. That means I have 9 shots left to do in 9 seconds. So I have to fire 1 shot every second. That's your splits. You cannot go slower than that and hope to be victory. You can go a lot faster, but it's going to be cued on not the time, but what you're seeing. All right, you have to see the sights rise and fall, and then you have to press the trigger with the correct speed. And it's simple if we do it that way. I'm not a big fan of cadence shooting, and that's personal. I don't count well under pressure. In fact, for this drill, I'm such a poor counter, I just loaded my magazines to 10. All right, whenever I count, it takes away from my processing power of watching sights and feeling triggers and puts me in a more analytical mode, and I simply don't shoot as well when I do that. So I don't think counting's essential, all right? But sometimes it is, but it does. When it gets to 6, I start having problems, and it's something I've worked on, but I'm starting to get a feel for it. Maybe I can improve upon that. If I do it from the draw, and I have a great draw, then I'm going to have to be visually patient. So it's probably going to be a 1-5 draw, trying to get a small circle like this, and maybe even closer to 2 seconds. So that means I either have 8.5 or 8 seconds, which leaves us about 0.9 splits. All right, I need to shoot a shot every 0.9 seconds. And what's going to tell me when I'm ready to shoot is the sights come back down. What we're going to see is if you're a very consistent shooter and you're efficient in this with discipline, you'll be accurate all the time. Now, great ways to practice this is your Manus, okay? Your Manus is a wonderful way to develop a great trigger press without spending a lot of money on ammo. If you just go to open training and start working on it, you need scores in the mid-90s, like 95s would get you this sort of drill where you can press that trigger and get a 95 every time. Once you get really good at that, what I want you to do is go to the compressed surprise trigger break, which means you prep the trigger all the way to the wall, and then you press it as quickly as you can when you hear the beep with as least amount of force as you can, and that'll measure how much muzzle dip you get, which really helps because light on the trigger is really important. And then the final one is your benchmark. So you're going to shoot so many rounds in a certain amount of time. and it'll measure it real well for you. It can be done in dry fire, but you have to rack the slide each time. So it's probably a live fire drill for most of you. We're going to talk about how to press the trigger correctly and what we need to see. And I'm going to use my P30L to do it because it has a hammer. So tap, rack, train. Physically and visually verified it. You guys see it too. Got a berm in this direction. We're good to go. Ran the decocker. We're all set up. Now I'm going to stand off to the side so you can see the hammer here. A lot of people like to get to a wall and then rush through it. And our laws of motion say that things in motion tend to stay in motion, things at rest tend to stay at rest. So once I stop moving, what I find with people is that how much energy they put into the trigger is excessive. However much this trigger requires, this is about a 7 or 8 pound trigger, that's exactly how much I need to put in it, and then I need to reset it. Of course, I'm going to get a single action and if I was shooting it with this gun. Now, here's several ways to address the trigger. I'm going to either do it quickly, not for this drill, carefully. Some people can shoot it at that, and then I probably precisely. I will keep the trigger moving the whole time as I watch the sight movie, and I'll continually be engaged in cleaning that up. So they're going to tell me how fast I can press the trigger, not the timer itself. I've got to clean it up, and that's why it's a great drill for you guys. Okay, hope that hammer helps you guys. We never want to hold and then slowly reset because you're wasting time. What we want to do is lightly press and then get ready to go again. Lightly press and get ready to go again. All right, so there's your ways to train for this. Now we got to shoot the drill, okay? This is performance mode. I've done my drilling mode, but I don't want to leave in accuracy and precision mode. I want to leave in performance mode. So I set up a B8 over there. This whole target has B8s, but I did the one that you'll see mostly with the black center, kind of important so that you see the same test. And what I'm going to do is shoot it. 10 rounds, 10 seconds, 10 yards. All right, let's see how this goes. Okay, done in time, 979. It looks like I threw one into the 8 ring on my first shot. So let's go look at the target and see what it has to say to us. All right, guys. So I've got 2 in the 9 ring and 1 in the 8 ring, so it's a 96. Which is about standard for me. If I scored 95s on my Mantis, this is kind of what I'd expect. This one here keeps happening to me, so I've really got to address the drill. I tend to prep high on that shot, so I'm going to really look at what the cause is. So the test has told me something now. All right, everything else is in the 10 ring. We had 10 shots that are measured on here. The first shot was a 168, about where I expected it. All the splits after that, there was a 109, a 93, a 90, an 80, a 90, an 85, a 90, an 83, and an 86. So one split was a little excessive. I think I cleaned up when I saw this. And this is just me watching rise and fall. Now, I don't have any right or left, so basically I have to work on shooting a little high. Now, that could be me. You know, I am target focused. That's how you use a red dot. So maybe I'm getting a little bit of healing in it. Don't know. We're going to work on it. We'll figure it out. Good shooting overall. So everything else is in. This is 1 point down, this is 2 points down, and this is 4. So it's a 96 total. Under the pressure of the camera, I'm pretty happy with that. That's my performance right now. That's my current level of skill. I shot it in the time allotted, shot it at the distance, and that's really good shooting for me. That's fine. And, you know, do I want 100? I can do 100 when it's just me, but when I put the camera out, what we see is a 4% decrease in performance. So there is a bit of performance decrease. A little bit of pressure causes you to make decisions sooner or later than you want to. All right, so probably shot a little soon here and shot a little late on the next shot, and that's where we're at. I hope that helps you guys. This is accuracy and precision mode, but I finished in performance mode, really important. And now I know that if I were to walk out, I could put 10 shots. And if we look at the size of this, it's pretty good shooting no matter what. For defensive personality, for personal protection, this is where we kind of want to be. All right, I hope that helps you guys a lot. Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe to Active Self Protection Extra. And as always, measure, refine, and perform.